All right, all right. Welcome to this episode of Runs0b3r podcast. This is episode number
12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that going. I got
12,
it right. I've been missing.
12.
I've been missing.
Perfect, perfect. We are a local Dallas-Fort Worth production. We do not only discuss running and sobriety, but all walks of life, for every one of us has a unique story. The journey begins and ends with you. Today's guests are Derrico.
Hi, everyone.
And Dave Cerezo.
Thank you, Bree. Like, I love that. Ain't no attitude in here. You can say that's not correct.
I call him Rizzo. So Dave Rizzo.
We got to put those pronunciations on the bottom of the text.
Yeah, word up.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, definitely. So, and next to me is
Eric J. Henderson.
Eric J. Henderson. And I am Brandon K. Veltman.
BK double. We ain't going down like that.
All right, today I want to go over with y'all. I want to talk about the Eugene Marathon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, want a little bit of backstory on you, Draco.
Yes.
Derrico.
Yes. People call me LD.
Derrico.
Ever heard it pronounced correctly?
They merge it. Like when I say my name is always merged to be something different. So
You made it sound like the Rocky villain Drago. I am Ivan Drago. I must break.
So I want to hear a little bit of a backstory of you. So where you originated from.
yeah,
Where you were born from.
Let's go back to the womb.
Yeah. Who made you?
There's a lot of kids around me.
That's going to take a while.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to hear that, and then I know of you for being super fast on short distance.
Yes.
So this was your first marathon, and so we want to dive into that. And Rizzo, I saw a picture of you run up next to Truett.
Oh, where?
Yeah, Eugene Marathon. He ran up next to him, the blue jean man.
I'll give you that story here.
Yeah. So I want to know a little bit more about that because that dude's just a beast, man.
He's a
He's
monster.
super fast and he,
Running in school clothes.
yeah,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah.
Playing in school clothes.
So yeah, let's start with Drika about just a little bit of backstory of you,
Yeah.
what you do here locally,
Yes.
and if you're affiliated with any charities or anything else or run groups, we can go over that.
Surely can.
If you're doing any modeling or anything, do you model?
I don't model. Somebody,
Shoot,
a
you
couple
should,
of people
but-
asked me about it.
Yeah.
So I'll keep it brief. So
Okay,
I
sure.
am LaDrica, go by Drica, Derrico, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I've been in Texas for
Atlanta.
I
in the
know.
house.
Yeah. A-Town. I've been in Dallas for 10 years. But my background is finance. So I do strategy, innovation, and finance. That my career has been at AT&T for about 10 years, but I've always been a runner. So ever since I was in elementary school, I've always loved running. I was a sprinter, a long sprinter in college. In high school, I did the 2-4, and in college, I was a 4-8 runner. So when I moved here to Texas, I joined We Run Things, and then I eventually found November Project, which
Okay,
became my
yeah.
family.
Nice.
And 5Ks where it was my thing. If anybody heard that LaDrica was running, more than likely they knew it was a 5K.
Yeah,
Nothing more than that.
But you wouldn't just run it; you would win.
I would win the 5K.
Breaking
So
tape and whatnot. Coming.
I have had a couple
Serious?
of opportunities to break the tape and stand on the podium. First overall, 19-minute is my fastest 5K, and now I'm so much stronger. So who knows what this year will look like? But I embarked on my first marathon.
Yeah, congratulations,
this
by the
year.
way. Congratulations.
So that was big for me, testing the bounds. But running is my passion and what I do, and so excited to unpack this journey to the marathon.
Very nice. The where'd you go to college?
I went to Georgia State University for undergrad, and I went to UGA. Go Dogs!
No dog.
Go Dogs!
Dogs in the house.
For grad school. Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. So give us a little bit on traveling over to Eugene. So I've never even been to Oregon, so I have no idea what that's all
Well, I guess
about.
we should start from like a little bit further back
Okay,
from
yeah,
that because
sure.
before Eugene,
Uh-huh.
Drica didn't do a marathon at all.
Yeah,
Or she already had done only a couple of half marathons.
Okay.
So getting her to like to the point where she
Felt comfortable?
felt but felt confident to like and felt the vibe and felt the
Yeah.
hype and everything.
Uh-huh.
It happened naturally.
Yeah.
Don't want to
Nice.
force that upon to anyone.
Absolutely.
So was this a long process?
It was a process. It was, I would say, to be honest, it was over a couple of years. Like,
Yeah.
even my first half marathon, I didn't train for it. We were doing coffee after heels, and somebody said, "Hey, if we get you in a half marathon, would you run it?" And I had looked at the site, and I knew everything was sold out. So I said, "Absolutely, I would. If you get me in, I will absolutely do it." And then, like 5 minutes later, Taiwan, who was the leader of November Project,
Yeah, shout out to
showed me
Taiwan.
shout out to Taiwan. Yes. He showed me the confirmation that I was in, and I am a woman of my word. So I knew that because I told everybody at coffee.
This was
That I was
race week too. This was like 2-3 days
This
before.
was 2 days before.
Yeah.
So this was a Friday, and the race was on Sunday.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I ran my first half marathon sub 2.
Sub 2.
Oh, wow.
What?
For the first.
No, that's real.
That's real. And that, but then that
But no training.
no training. Like
Right,
didn't
right.
train for it. Did sub 2, and I think the next. So I did my 4th half marathon in December of last year. So every year I do the Dallas series, and I do the
Okay.
half
Yeah.
marathon.
Nice.
Fastest time now is sitting at 1:36. So that's with training.
I think the first
cool.
one. I think
No,
your
that's
first
real.
one was like 150 or something like
No,
that.
first one was like 150.
150.
Yeah.
Golly.
Okay.
Nice. Wow. Always
I
fun.
love that. No training,
I
no
think-
running.
Well, I think
150.
all the hill training we did with
November Project?
November Project was
Yeah.
because on Friday Hills, Hills.
Yep.
So that got her prepped up real easy.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can we say before we go further, you know how rare it is? I was just looking up right now. I think it's either Tia Jones or maybe Gabby who said, you know, what's the thing people don't know about sprinters? And she said, we don't like to run. We sprint, but people are like, hey, come go for a run with me. And she's like, it's so rare. I bet you haven't met another sprinter who's done.
I haven't met too many, and I think that's what took so long to really get to longer distances.
Yeah.
Like it took me, I've been in Texas for 10 years. It took me 6 years to even get to the half marathon.
Yeah.
Like 6 years, and it took me almost 10 years to get to my full marathon.
Ooh-wee. Nice.
And when you get to the community, you discover
And,
like,
now what?
You know, now I what I was telling David is, I went into the full marathon. I had a slight injury, like I had tweaked my hamstring 9 days before. So shout out to Motion RX for getting me in, getting me
stuff.
some treatment. So they got me well enough where I felt confident to do it. So, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, that marathon was one of the hardest things.
Wow.
Like
yeah.
just to finish it. And I was like, Lord, I said, I'll never do this again. But then you start to have that nagging of, you could have done better. Like when I saw the pace that I was going well on track to do 3:45 or better. And then just last 8 miles really had to run smart. And I think it became more of a mental thing. So I will say, here, you all heard it first. I will do another marathon.
go.
There it is.
And there it is.
that's incredible.
Very cool.
Because now you know, Drica, and I have this full confidence in you. I'm not trying to put pressure on you.
He's the reason why I did the marathon. Like,
Hey,
no,
Chris
you should
too.
tell
And
how
Chris
did,
too.
and Chris too. How did so? True story. I had did the half marathon last year. Granted, another injury, so I had took 4 weeks off, came back, ran the half marathon after 4 weeks off, ran about a 145 maybe.
This is
So
all
not
no
my fastest
training.
time, but still very little training. And we went out and we celebrated like most runners do. After
How was that?
it was
Beer?
great.
Mm-hmm.
You have food, you have drinks,
Yeah.
and they started talking about the marathon. And I think I was just really overjoyed with the fact that I did this half marathon. And somehow between the time I got there and left, I had registered for this full marathon
Nice.
Stay ready.
on the same day that I ran this half marathon. And I was like, how is that even
Same day.
possible? Like the same
that's
day.
I
Ain't even
think when
started
you hear,
breathing yet.
when you hear the chit chats from other people
Yeah.
as well too of what they're doing, that kind of influences it a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's always kind of like that little thing in behind your head. It's like, I did a half.
Yeah. It's time to step it up.
I did
And
a
the
half.
community is different. Like I play ball everywhere around New York City and Dallas, whatever. And if I'm on the court and not decent, ain't nobody saying they're not waiting. They're not happy. Come on, Eric, you can do it. They're not saying, oh, you haven't trained? Like, oh, that's good, B.
Yeah.
And so I
yeah.
love when you fall into the community from someone not having run distance and then showing up with times, like off the couch times. You certainly ain't coming off the couch, but I'm saying
Yeah.
But I'm like, no training is like
Right.
crazy.
But back in 2018, I did my first half marathon. I was at Irving. And I remember feeling completely obliterated after that.
Yeah.
It was my first sub 2. That was my goal. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking to myself, how can I do 4 hours of this?
Yeah. But now you kill it.
And yeah. 3 years later, I did my first full marathon. But and I battled through a lot of injuries
Yep.
from that, learning lessons from that, and just getting to know your body a little bit better and how to take care of it. But
Oh yeah.
man, it's
So
It's-
what
grueling.
injuries were you battling? When you say you got injured, what same injury over and over again, or it's been
No.
different each time?
This one was, so anybody knows me. One thing I'll share this tidbit is I like to do a lot of fitness competitions. Like I had just done a combine, which was, everything a combine is, 40-yard dash, pull-ups,
Nice.
dips, like
Snap.
all of that, right? And so I think it was just what I don't do well that I am going to do better now that, I have some good coaching is recovery and actually doing preventative maintenance. So I think it was just, I had done so much and had put my body through so many competitions. And then I was going from something that was short, fast, and explosive to something that was slower. And I just don't think I gave my body
You're right.
that time. And so I ended up messing up my knee coming from some other fitness class and was out for 4 weeks. But I think the one thing that I am always grateful for is I always have this mental tenacity that whatever I want to do, I find a way to do it. And I really wanted to do the half marathon because that race really let me know that I was more diverse as a runner than I thought I was. I really thought that I can only do a 5K, and in my old run community, people put me in that box. Like, it was even rumored, oh, LaDrica's not a real runner because all she does is 5Ks while everybody else is doing marathons. And I think it just kind of stayed with me for a while. And I think I put myself in the same box that group at the time did. But the half marathon proved that, oh, I can do so much more.
Yeah.
And so it has this significance for me. And so I don't, as long as I'm able, I don't ever want to miss the Dallas series because it just has a lot of value. And so I pushed through and we ran it.
So you going to sign up for the Dallas Marathon?
I don't know if I want to do the
all of
marathon in the Dallas series. I don't even know when the next marathon
anywhere.
will be. But I do know that I feel like I have unfinished business with the marathon, if that makes sense.
You do.
And Dallas is good. And
You
that was
do.
my first marathon.
We're gonna
so
say
I
that
like
'cause
it.
the encouragement you get also comes from the running community. I'm saying this from my personal experience, which Brandon witnessed about 2 months ago. The encouragement also comes from people telling you, bro, you really just gonna sit here and not run? Are you serious? The hail had started.
Yeah.
And I was making all kind of good excuses. I'm like, man, you're not gonna be able to run in this mess. And I'm trying to run. It's just super tricky yourself. Like, no, I'm supposed to kill this. You can't do this. And sure enough, the hail comes and the mud's like that. And then
And we're at McDonald's.
And then I never eat before a race, so I just ate in 2 of these like freaking
a bottom
whatever.
sausage McMuffins.
Oh my God.
And then I just ended up at the start line. They had already started.
Yeah.
And I started running, and then hit that pure quit space. And then you just get through it just because it's people around that you can't let down.
Yeah.
I can't look this dude in the face. And so I feel you when you say, I have unfinished business and I have to, or even in the marathon, I have to finish this.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than perseverance. It's like, I said it, I'm going to do it.
I'm gonna do it. It's just that simple. Like I
Yeah.
said it,
Don't make it complex.
and the community was really big. I knew that people were cheering because I was very transparent about my journey. Like I
Right,
shared
yeah.
it. I invited people to be a part of every long run in the morning.
Yeah.
And so when I left, I had so many people texting and calling me. So I felt like when I was at that line, like I'm not gonna lie to y'all, mile 18 was the mile for me where I didn't know, but I knew that people were cheering and rooting for me that I couldn't even hear. And that was enough for me to say, you know what, we can do this. We can do hard things. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm a
Look at
26.2.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We write down
26.2.
stuff we get out of this. That's
26.
another one.
I think there's a lot more that you can do actually. So just from
125
just
is
from
next.
I've been to one November project run, and that was when let me see when that was. I know Taiwan was still a part of it at that time, and y'all were doing, it was like the Levy run or something like that, and I saw you run.
Oh.
And I was just like, oh my God, she's smoking fast, you know? So I mean, it's like you're finishing and there's nobody even coming behind you for a long time. And that can be
And keep on going.
that can
and
be
going and
13
going.
miles, and that could be 26.2 miles where no one will be behind you for a long time, you know? So you're fast and you're it's just putting in a lot of extra work and training. And that's up to
the
you,
most
you know?
important.
Yeah.
And I
So
love what
just
we
put
get
in
out of
miles.
this.
Yeah.
We get stuff out of this, and you dropped another gem for us. People are rooting for you who you can't even hear.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's the
beautiful.
darn truth, man.
Mm.
You can't let them down.
And you got Michelle to coach you.
I did.
Nice.
How did that go about? Because I don't even know actually.
Yeah. So when I registered for the race, and I told Michelle just asked me, well, when are you planning on training? I was doing the Daniel fast, and so I didn't want to get into hardcore training while doing the Daniel fast because I knew that just my caloric intake, like I just knew that I was already putting my body through something, and I wanted to finish out the fast and then fully be able to commit to training for the
So,
marathon.
You've heard of
let's
that.
let's
What is
pa-
that?
oh, yeah, let's pause for a
Some
second.
Old Testament eating?
What
What
is
was
the Daniel fast? Let's go with this. Yeah, I don't have no idea.
So the Daniel fast was a 40-day fast of just fruit, vegetables, no protein, no sugar, water. Like that was it.
Oh wow.
And so
And when did you finish this?
so I finished it at the end of January.
And the race was actually
And the race was
last
the
week.
end of
Right. So,
April. So
yeah.
I had about three solid months.
What's the
of-
benefit
So-
they say that you look for with no protein, all fruit? Like,
So this was more from a spiritual perspective.
Okay.
Like one thing it definitely helped me to do was when I came back from the Daniel fast, my diet was better. Like I think I just, I bought the things back in that I needed. Like I bought protein back, but I, like all of the sugar and stuff that I tend to crave in my comfort foods didn't really come back. And so I just noticed a
you mean
transfer.
like that cream in your coffee?
that's
right
huge.
Like, I mean, but you need it every now and then.
Yeah, I get you. I get
That's
you.
You know what I'm saying? Moderation.
You're getting that extra sugars from the actual
comfort
fruit.
foods.
Yeah, you get.
That's
so
a
I think
habit. I mean,
it's a habit, and I think my diet is so much better, and it's because of the things that I got from the Daniel fast and that discipline that really translated to the discipline that was necessary when I trained for this marathon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
although it does sound more like 40 days in the wilderness with Moses and them talking about, yo, you said
felt
promised
like it.
land.
It felt like it. Like I was trying to get to the promised land, y'all. The promised land. And I felt like I did. And so, but Michelle, when she found out I was training, she just graciously came, and I didn't ask her for anything, and she just curated this training program for me. And every week, like clockwork, on Monday morning, she would send me what the week looks like, and that meant a lot to me because one, I felt like I was just stumbling my way through. I didn't even know where to start with the marathon. So having someone willingly coach you and be vested and pour into you and selflessly just be there to encourage you, that was one of the main reasons why I think, why I know I was successful, going into this marathon.
I know Dave said that he was going to try to bring you out to our Sunday runs in the morning, and but I know that's right right in the church time.
That's our church time.
Yeah, it's difficult. We're 7 a.m.
Don't worry.
7
There will
a.m.
be
crew.
opportunities on a Saturday.
Yeah.
That's what Trailhead
I think
calls
she
it,
remember-
dirt church.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I remember one time. I think we were talking about like doing our runs some either Saturday or Sunday. And I think you got busy on Saturday, so you got
It rained.
It rained. That's
So
right.
I had to. So I ended up doing a Sunday run. I got there at like 6 something. I
Oh
did
yeah,
it.
I
and
saw that. Y'all
still-
did a later afternoon run. Is that correct?
Well,
No.
we got our last run. We actually did our
Yeah.
last run together.
Yeah.
And interesting enough, this whole marathon journey where I had a coach, every long run was solo. I never ran with a group this entire training series. And my very last run, long run, was with David though. So
Yeah. Well, which is good though, because you need that.
Yeah, I most of my running has been solo
Yeah.
than anything else. But I will next time, the next journey for
The
the
next
for
journey.
the marathon training. Let's get a group because you'd be amazed. You already know how the hype is when running with a huge amount of people at a marathon.
Yeah.
Imagine with training as well too. You kind of have that similar hype as
good,
well
yeah.
too.
it's a sense of
Especially if they're on the
challenge.
same. Especially if they're kind of like working on the same pace.
Yeah, and it's just accountability too. Like one thing, and I've run with David before, and the one thing that I realized, well, he realized it before me, is, I would never, he would always say, you need to slow your breathing down.
Yeah.
He's like, it's okay. And we actually had like a whole conversation for at least 9 of the 12 miles. And so that let me know I'm stronger. I was better with pacing.
Yeah.
And I was more ready than I realized, and so that was a major thing. And so you learn those things when you run with people. People naturally challenge you to be better and to do better. So I definitely have to do more runs with the group
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure.
I'm looking forward to it.
On race day, you should be on. I mean, if I don't know, I say jump on Dave's hip and just ride that wave all the way to the finish, because Dave's fast, man, and he's super fast, and he'll get you to your.
He'll get you.
He'll definitely get you a PR
Yeah.
from what you just had, because
Yeah.
Dave's fast. Just stay with him, and it'll be good. But Dave wants to jump on somebody else's hip, basically, so he can get this BQ.
I really want to because my experience. If I can go ahead and take over from this. This recent marathon was a bit challenging, in a weird way, because when I looked at the map, when you're trying to kind of like prepare your body for what would be the worst, it ends up being the total polar opposite. And I learned a lot from this race, because the first 9 miles, when you see on the map, you see the high elevations going up and down. And then it ends up being like the second half of the marathon that actually was the most challenging, because there were a lot of curves, there were a lot of turnarounds, there were a lot of zigzags. And that blew me up on right around mile 18.
Same.
Ugh.
Mile 18 sucked for the both of us.
Yeah.
And that
Sucks
was
for the world.
It sucked for the world. Like, and I thought it was just me, but because it was more challenging, and we were going to the elevator, and it was a lot of cuts and turns. Like, I think I knew my hamstring was just tightening, but it was like at mile 18. And when he was talking, he was like, yeah, mile 18. So then I was like, okay, I'm not crazy, right?
And
like,
for a
I'm
lot
not
of
crazy.
That's everybody.
When we hear about the wall, the whole thing about the
18 or
wall,
20.
18 or 19, it's about a lot of the times it's because uh, your food intake is trash,
exactly.
whatever. Mine was more of a physical ailment than anything else. Like I've been prone to having sciatica issues on my right hip for quite a while. So, but this time around, I'm around my 18 when I'm going a small little uphill. It flared up my right side, and then it flared up on my left side for the first time ever. So I had both sides of my glutes and hips and everything just firing up, and I had to stop because it was excruciating.
Oh yeah.
So and it sucks because your gels, your nutrition, 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Your breathing, 100%.
Yeah.
No lactic acid or anything like that. Whatever, great. And then that happened. And then you started to think about it. The last thing you want to do is just, start overthinking about it.
Right.
You don't want to do that
Yeah.
at all.
That'll kill the race for you.
That will
It
kill
will.
the race.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank goodness no DNF in my racing history.
None.
Yeah.
None.
Good.
Yeah. If that ever happened, oh man, that would suck.
Yeah,
That one.
another valley to come up out of.
I've hit
But
one.
that
I've hit-
18
I
to
hit one last
20
year.
is, we were at the same one.
Yeah, I didn't have to 100 miler.
We were,
Yeah. I was 53 miles in, but it was weather related. So.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And I read
But it still sticks to me today.
Oh,
Right.
I have that bib and I put it on my mirror and I put DNF real big on it just so I can see it every morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah.
yeah.
I changed my mind on those 18 to 20 spaces to say in the marathons, okay, we just started.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
And what's still gonna? It's not haunting me.
because anybody
but-
can get up to there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I look at that as a brand new, this is the start of who's trained for this and who's going to finish it and do well.
I just know that the next marathon, I know the two things I'm going to do very well next time.
What is that?
One, stretch a lot more
Yes.
because I think that whole sciatic issues would be alleviated if I had put more emphasis on stretching. So that I'll be doing a lot more yoga this season. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
And second, it still is in the back of my mind, but the race doesn't start until the last 6 miles. So I better make sure on my next marathon training that I intend and will do those long runs. I better like on the last week or the week before before tapering, that I will hit 25 miles and it will be a good pace.
Okay.
Because I've always fell short of a mile or two on the training plan. Granted, listen, Brandon, I think you could agree with this.
Oh, yeah.
Those wins at White Rock Lake, they're brutal.
Yeah,
They're brutal.
Yeah.
Yes.
But your training was good, man. I thought leading up to this.
No.
You were killing it. And
Yeah.
I almost felt like you might have let yourself down more at the race than on your training. Your training was positive.
My
I
training
thought-
was absolutely,
Training was
yes.
Because you're putting in a lot of work.
Yeah.
And
No injuries as well,
Yeah.
too. So I knew I felt like I was pretty confident. It still
Yeah.
came out with a PR, which is
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah.
So-
That's beautiful every time. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
congratulations to that. Like, I think the one thing that I would tell people who are embarking upon something that they've never done before is give yourself grace, set your goals, but celebrate those wins, like celebrate every long run that you get through, celebrate even during the marathon, every mile. Like, I don't think I hit a brick wall at mile 18. Like, I knew that my hamstring was bothering me, but I felt good. Like, I was doing negative splits. I'm looking, I'm like, man, I'm rolling right now. Like, you can't tell me that I'm not going to hit. But I did hit a brick wall eventually. I think the brick wall found me at mile 22.
Yeah.
And,
Tough place to get it.
but the good thing is I had done my nutrition. So every 4 miles I was doing my gels. Every 30 minutes I was doing my salt. So
Okay, let's pause right there.
Yes.
What do you think about putting so many gels in your body throughout that race? Like, does it tear up your stomach at all, or because I'm sour about that.
Yeah.
Me personally.
Yeah.
And I will
Utilize
under
it.
gel myself.
Yeah.
But I've tried other things now. Right now I'm taking a bicarbonate is what it's called now.
Yeah, I know you're talking about from the Martins.
Yeah. Martin makes
Yeah.
a bicarbonate, and the fastest guy that I think he won. Did he win Leadville or he won one of the ultra marathons and he lives by it. And his trainers or his, I say trainer, but it's also his crew and it's everything. And she's a doctor. And so they're trying new things on him all the time. Yeah. And that biocarbonate is like, I've been taking it recently. And like you were saying, that lactic acid buildup is there is none. So you can push yourself constantly at a max pace where you're not falling off at certain times, where your muscles are tightening up so much that you're like,
if I may expand on that real quick. Eventually I want to move away a lot of the gels personally. Or expand my mileage per gel.
Yeah, that's probably good. I mean, does it tear up your stomach too? It tears up my stomach.
It doesn't, but it does bother me putting that much sugar in my body as well too. I guess maybe because I did train every 5 miles per gel for a while, and then on marathon day I did at 4, so that I make sure I have that storage in me,
right? Yep,
and not worry about it. But I see a lot of elite athletes, including our mutual friend Chris. He does only like 2 or 3 gels.
Because he's running that. What do you call him? Dog on it. I just blew my head. The little blue cartoon character, crazy fast, like
Roadrunner.
Yeah, no,
Sonic.
Sonic, because he's not. They don't need gels like crap. They gels at the next day.
So
he's running on coins.
I think a lot of it is like just train those miles. Put a lot of work into it because your body will remember that.
Remember that everybody training, is different too. Your body and your pace determine that kind of shit. Like for these 50 miles or whatever, all I do every aid station, the same thing. Those little quarter oranges, I eat the whole thing. The whole peels and all.
They're not giving that out on marathons.
No.
I mean, they had little
sometimes
stuff like
they have fruit
pickles
people
and stuff like they. I mean, shout
Pickle
out
juice,
to the people on the side that had like. Shout out to them because like all heroes don't wear capes, and when they was on the side, I said thank you, like pickle juice and all of that stuff. So shout out to them. But I do think that's a good point. For me, it was my very first marathon. So when I first started training in mileage, I was crashing, and I remember being discouraged, like, man, I can't get through these long runs. And it was when I started the gels, and I think gels was just a good entry point for me, and it gave me enough energy where I wasn't crashing. And then the salt tablets helped me to not really feel like my muscles were cramping. I think I am open to, though, like as I evolve as a runner, to try something different. But on race day, I wanted to stick as close to what I was doing from a training perspective. I didn't want to change anything. So, I'm like, every 4 miles, it's a gel.
What gels were you using?
I was using the Goose.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I was using
it's
the
a
Goose.
Very common.
It was common, and they were passing the same brand out on the trail, like
that and Gatorade.
So I would when you're attacking a race, I would try to be training with what they're going to serve there. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So that's a good.
But there's another thing, which is in a lifetime, your formula changes for where you are. When I first started this ultra thing, I didn't have any nutrition. I didn't know what I was doing with that. I said, well, just you feel your pace and what you need to fuel before you not run out before, but you're looking a few chunks ahead. And so, and even that, I can't say I'm doing the same thing I did 2 years ago. Even though I even sat out last year because the whole year not running a mile because of injury. Yeah. And I did the stupid thing, which is running another 50 miles on a bum, whatever. Everything.
Tell him how old you are, Eric. So.
56.
Yeah, so he's almost pushing 60 here in a little while.
One, you look good. I mean, I want to pause it for everybody.
I'm take that every time. Thank
good. Like I would not have even, so.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Awesome.
I think his swag too is making him look good.
We paid these people.
I brought him to boost your confidence, Eric.
But yeah, man, I'm looking like, okay, you start killing the age group, getting up in it. And I said, I need to creep down into these 30, 40-year-old guys. And that's where, and then just like in marathoning, I got a little ahead of myself when I first started marathoning. Matter of fact, on the marathon, I signed up for my first one, ran it in 3:15 in Philadelphia,
Wow.
not knowing anything about it per se, but the fear was good because I was like, I don't want to fall. I'm not going to crap out at any mile. And so that fear was good. But then I thought after that, they're like, I'm at GE. They're saying, hey, man, come run on the marathon team. I'm like, what does that mean? They said, well, we go to Vegas. I'm like, say no more.
Say less.
For the corporate marathon championships, which we won. But
Nice.
mine was face down in mile 25 at 2 hours and 48 minutes. And I was like, dude, I can finish that. But no, that was exactly all I had, because the lady at mile 18 that I thought was just a fruit lady, no, she's the lifesaver. I just didn't know about the fueling or anything. I was like, who put a fruit stand right here? What do you know about this fruit lady?
The fruit lady.
I wish I could see her head, and I just like, poor boy. Then the next week, I bought a book, and ran 2:53 in Myrtle Beach 4 weeks later.
Wow. Yeah.
But and it taught me the biggest lesson, which is this constant evolution, and it's a constant, not humbling, but sometimes you need a humiliation, Eric. Just like, oh shoots,
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing.
Right. Yeah.
That's a beautiful story, because the same thing happened. I took the train back from Eugene to Portland, and on there was it was a couple of people that had ran the marathon. They all were trying to get BQ. I think 2 of them did, and one was a coach that had years ago did the trials for the marathon.
Mm-hmm.
And all they talked about and what they poured into me was about just being smart about training, being smart about what you're eating, being smart about recovery. The big thing they said is, hey, like, I know you're excited, like you don't want to lose any of your fitness. They said, but this 2 to 3 weeks, it's okay to do alternative type of training to take your mileage down. They said, because your body will actually, when you come back from it, will be ready to go into another cycle much stronger. And that was something that, because I always is like, I don't want to take up.
Did you think you're gonna
too much
lose?
time. I'm like, I don't want to take too much time off, because I feel like I'm gonna be starting from scratch. But you need people in your village. Iron sharpens iron. You need people who have been there, done that can recommend books and things for you to read and ingest, because like you said, it's an evolution, and in order for you to evolve, you have to be willing to learn, and kind of just always wanting to learn something. Like, I don't think that you'll ever be like, the SME in it. You can always learn something from somebody. And I think that was what I learned. Like, on that 2.5 train ride, all we talked about was things that they had done, challenges that they had overcome, things that they had, changed. And I left there feeling like that at that moment, I knew, okay, I'm going to do another marathon. It wasn't when we were toasting in the living room.
No.
It wasn't when we were like, cheers, like we made it. Cause I was like, yeah, we made it. And I'm scooting to my room and trying to put my feet up. Like, I'm not doing this again. It was when they had sown the seeds. And I think the harvest had started to grow as other people poured into me. And I think that's the beautiful story about community.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That is.
That's the biggest thing I run into this.
So Dave, tell us about Truett, and because I saw the picture and I was like, you ran right up next to him, and I can't imagine how fast he's moving to get up next to him for a picture. So.
That was, I think it was like mile 6 or mile 7 or something like that.
Oh, okay. So it's
and I was just on pace with my own thing, and I was running adjacent to a young lady next to me, and it was just like, oh, we're matching strides, whatever, no problem, cool, no problem. She was just messing with her phone, put on some music, like, cool, yeah. And Alice in Chains, cool. And next thing you know, this guy passes by like, dun, 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 dun. And we both, the girl and I, both said at the same time in unison, "Oh shit!" Oh shit! Oh shit! And sure enough, it's true. And she and the first thing, and then she told me, go catch up to him.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay. So
I'll go.
That's why you didn't get what you wanted out of the race.
And that was the only time. That was the only time I broke away from the plan. And it's like, I had to catch up to him, and he was going fast. Like we were on the edge of sub 7, and I had to like run at, I'm pretty sure, a 6:20 pace, 6:30 pace, just to catch up to him at that point.
Right.
And then I got his attention. He was wearing AirPods or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I told him like, "Hey, I loved you on Boston." And he turned around. And he's like, "Oh yeah, fist bump."
They did.
And then I slowed back down.
He just saw smoke.
And that was on the uphill, like a gradual uphill. So he kept on going.
So he's from there.
So, I don't know if he's from
there.
there.
He is.
Okay.
That's Cam Haynes' son. So and Cam Haynes is huge with the. So he's a huge elk bow hunter.
Oh,
and he's big on ultra. He's going to be at Cocodona. So where I'm going for.
Has he run ultras before? Has he done?
Oh, Cam Haynes?
No.
Oh, true. Oh, yeah. I'm sure he has, man. He did the track 100 miles on a track.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had one of the fastest times of 100 miles on a track.
That was like that New York one where they run.
I'll tell you what.
1,000.
With the whole thing of like with Nick Bear, and the whole hybrid athlete.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you see a lot of these guys who train in heavy weights. They build,
Derrico.
Yeah.
With
she's the hybrid athlete.
Yeah,
Look at her.
And that's the secret.
Yeah.
You can't run without strength training.
She's skinny and strong.
I'm loving
for
how it's not just the skinny male, females, whatever.
Oh yeah.
It cannot be the bigger guys.
Superhero.
And
you had a superhero with jeans running by you.
Exactly.
That's why y'all were like, oh
But
shit.
I remember like hearing from guys who are like big, tough, whatever. They have strong muscles but hate cardio.
Yeah.
Not being influenced to like do more cardio.
Oh yeah.
Like and it should be.
And so that was my generation and probably Eric's too, where it was all about upper body strength for men, and they didn't work their legs.
No.
So it's like
They
these
had
little
that
bitty.
Don't be that guy skipping legs.
So leg day became like my son's generation. He's 21 right now. So all they do is work legs. Like all them at the gym. I'm like, damn, all they're doing is working their legs. They're working their legs. And the nice tight shorts.
Oh, yeah,
hoochie
shorts.
Hoochie daddy shorts.
Yeah.
Dave loves to. And they're just doing legs constantly. I was like, damn. And I wish I would have done that as a youngster or youth. Yeah. Because that's you want to strengthen the legs and your core. I think more than anything.
And the hips,
so.
Especially at an older age, because that stuff
running.
goes out. Man, I mean, you're not old, Eric.
Nah, I'm not claiming.
But you're not old at all.
He said, I ain't
But
claiming that.
that's the first that's going to go out on us
Our
as
legs.
old people.
Yeah.
Like my parents before my dad, he was losing his knees and before he passed away, and my mom, she broke her hip. So reason why? Because they're fragile. Because you never train that region. For the most part.
It's important. It keeps us mobile.
Oh,
keeps
yeah.
us doing things.
It does.
There's only so much our arms can do. I mean, it's important to like lift yourself or help carry another person, whatever. But you still need your legs to actually move around.
Yeah. And technically, you're lifting with your legs whenever you're picking up other stuff.
Yeah.
With the strong arms.
Yeah.
And the problem with the running motions is the muscles you aren't using to run are still muscles you need, so you don't have the other stuff not doing what it's supposed to. So you probably are more used to us than doing like the hip strengthening stuff as a sprinter. There's no sprinting without it. I used to work with, I told him before, with Asafa Powell. We were at the Osaka World Championships with him, Stephen Francis, and Shelly Ann Fred, the most beautiful people, just plain old beautiful people.
Yeah.
But before then, we're out in St. Catherine in Jamaica, and they have a big grass, 600-meter oval. On that oval is just people. You have high school kids who are showing some promise running next to somebody who just came from the World Championships, but everybody is the same person out there.
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful to see the type of camaraderie and then training. And matter of fact, even Nike came up to drug test one day, and Coach Francis goes, "Well, if dumplings is drugs, then we all on them."
Dumplings. I love me some dumplings.
And the weight room, no bigger than this room we're in. I'm I'm talking, you know, gold medals coming out of there, but it was more scientific than people who had much more equipment. And that's what they don't realize. Starting with that 600-meter grass oval where we're not stomping on concrete for the whole season before, or even on the track.
Yeah.
They get on the track later.
So, what shoes did you wear?
What shoes?
Oh, this is actually a good story right here.
Yeah,
curious- I'm
because
curious
because
about that.
from coming from a more of a sprinter background or a 5K only background,
You get to
you
wear the
use
pretty shoes for 5Ks, man.
exactly. They stay pretty the whole
The
time.
Flyers,
So
yeah.
so I was
They are
wondering
fly.
about these what did you use for that marathon?
The funny story, and I so the whole time I did my long runs, I did the Brooks Glycerins. Like
Okay.
they were kind of like my go-to. And as I got closer to the race, maybe I waited a little too late. I'm like, no, like I want to be in style. Like I need some
Come on
new
now.
shoes. I need to be fly when I
Helps
step
me.
on this
It
marathon.
helps.
Yeah.
So I bought these Brooks Hyperion Maxes.
Okay.
They look nice. Like I put them on. I put them all on my IG, and people was like, "Oh, those are nice." And I was just like, I don't think I broke these shoes in enough to be running these shoes in a marathon.
Right.
And sure enough, and so I kept going back and forth. Like when I say it literally was a 20-minute conversation with the team. I was like, hey team, I was like, I really want to wear these shoes because they're new, but I don't think I broke them in. And they're probably not the
And-
most comfortable shoes.
And I had the same
Lord.
shoes too, just
Okay.
the color.
Yeah.
And I already knew kind of like, I don't even like wearing those shoes for long runs. Maybe for shorter runs, but I'll give her my experience on that and let her decide.
Yeah.
And I think I made the decision because we all laid our stuff out like the night before. Because you know you got to lay your clothes out like it's a school day. Like okay, put your clothes out and your shoes and your gels, and
Like it's a school day.
like it's a school day. And I
That's part of it, just to see that laying there
just to
on the
see
bed,
it.
like
First day-
in the
first day of
hotel.
school.
You're
Like it
like,
was the first day of school, and I ended up going with what I had trained in. I didn't want to, like we said, I didn't want to change up anything. I didn't want to have to overthink, and I just because I was over rotating on these new shoes so much, I'm like I need to just do the shoes that I trained in. Like I know that they're gonna get me through 26.2. So they got me through 26.2, but it was the Brooks Glycerins
Brooks
were
Glycerin.
the shoes for race day.
Ah, there you go.
They
Very
were.
nice.
They were.
Okay, I got a few questions for you.
Okay.
Okay. If you could be something other than a human, what would it be?
Man, if I can be something other than a human, I would definitely be an eagle.
An eagle? Oh,
I would be an eagle,
Free, fly.
Because I would be free, I would be flying, and eagles are like a symbol of strength. And I definitely could see myself being an eagle. Like I feel like that's my spirit animal. Eagle all day.
Very nice.
I love being able to spot dinner from like 500 feet
Yes,
away. Like, oh
right?
yeah, I'm gonna eat that.
I mean,
right?
like think
Just
about
dive
what,
down and grab
think
it.
about like think about how fast the eagle is, how strong the eagle is. Like
yeah.
I would most definitely be an eagle all day.
Yep. Hey, Dave, same question for you. It's going to be, here we go. Yeah. If you could be something other than a human, Dave, what would it be? A guitar.
Other than a human. Other than a human.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, she just said an
I would be an
eagle. She wants to
eagle.
be an eagle.
I would be fast. I would soar, strong. Like just that's who I am.
Yeah.
I'll be a wizard.
Wizard? I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are kind of like a wizard, though, you know?
Yeah.
Wizard on the guitar, you know. Wizard.
Well, wizard of all types, right?
You're the-
Yeah.
The wizard of music. Soon the wizard of running, right? So cool. I got some more. Here we go.
Go for it.
Ready?
Bonus round.
Approaching a hill. What measures do you take?
When I'm approaching any hill,
Yeah, when you're running and you're approaching a hill, what measures do you take?
I'm a believer that when you see a hill, you run. You drop your chin, you lean into it, and you attack that
Oh,
hill.
I like that. I like that part. Yeah,
Like
keep
you
going.
gotta attack like you attack the hill because I saw like for me like you gotta get through the hill. So I want to
Yeah.
get through the hill as fast as I possibly can. And that's why the hill training and repeat hills are so important, because then you don't think about it. It becomes a
familiar
part of
space.
it's a very familiar space. And the hills, like for those who don't do training, the hills will make or break you on marathon day if you have not trained. I will tell you that, like, it will make or break you for sure. But yes, attack it. Head down, lean into it.
I'm a little different.
Okay.
I will look at the hill.
Ooh.
I will assess the hill. I will have a coffee with that hill.
Hello, Hill.
Have a little conversation with that hill.
You'll make love to that hill.
And hopefully that hill will treat me just fine. Because who knows what type of hill that is, because it'll, like you said, it'll make or break you.
I see him eat people sometimes.
Yes.
So I'll tell you
Eat
what
'em.
I do. I
Swallow them whole.
in Vegas, the Vegas Marathon, my face down ER, taking a bus out to the middle of nowhere and having to ride back to the Strip wearing marathon clothes, and all the people on the bus looking at me, baby, where you going? Like, what are you doing? I had to beg the bus driver to get on. But anyway, I took for granted that the hill there was about 10 miles.
Oh,
In
my
a sense,
gosh.
it was a gradual. You didn't really feel it, but
Yeah.
you can't lie to the body. And so that's where I basically maxed out my whatever without even knowing it. And then
You know, a lot of times when it comes training, you want to say "fuck you" to those hills. Excuse my
You
language,
surely do.
but
Have you ran a countdown? Either one of y'all?
no,
No.
I heard there's many hills on that one.
Yeah, there's one that everybody's battles. It's going into the downtown area, and they're
yeah,
like.
yeah, you see, I ran that
But
one. Yeah.
I'll tell you what I do.
That's where I
man.
qualified
I'll
on.
put my head down actually,
Yes.
and I don't stare at that hill, and I don't take it on.
You know it's going to be
mentally.
over sometime.
What I do
He's
is
taking it like a whooping. Just keep swinging, daddy.
Yes.
so that's what I'll do. I'll keep it in my head down the whole time until I finish the hill.
We
And
do
then,
the same.
but I like what she says about leaning into it.
You
Yeah.
gotta lean into it.
And,
Oh, there you go.
and driving. I'll drive with these part of my legs.
I
you know,
s- I s-
more. Yeah,
Depending on how, what was that?
it's the tail.
There's a cadence occurs to me.
Whenever I do go attack a hill, depending how long it is, I do arm drive. Hey, sorry, that's my
I
dog.
bark up the hills too sometimes. You just bark at it.
I just got it. I got her all excited. I'm sure.
There is a cadence that occurs too. Like sometimes,
Yes.
literally, it would happen all the time in Central Park. On the backside, around 110th Street.
Yes.
I just heard walk this hill, and I didn't mean walk. I meant walk this hill. I'm gonna
Like-
walk him down. Like
Like,
yeah,
you gotta walk it down. Like you
Yeah.
really gotta own the
And just
hill,
goes,
if nothing
walk
else.
this
You gotta
hill,
own
walk
the
this
hill.
hill.
And I follow the same approach. Like I lean into it, but I don't stare the hill down, because I kind of assess it. Like when I see it, I can kind of assess how long it is.
Right.
But I just lean into it.
Yeah,
And
my head's
I
down,
lean
but I
there,
make
but
sure
my
I'm not
head's
running
down,
into,
like, but
running
I-
into people.
Maybe
Right.
shorten the stride as well too.
Oh yeah.
If
That's
if
good.
it is long, then you want to shorten it a little.
Because you can psych yourself out challenging the hill in the wrong way. Because nature wins every time.
Yep.
Every time.
Every time.
Every
you.
time.
I couldn't
Every
even-
single
that's it.
time.
Every time.
Okay.
You got to cooperate.
I got
with
a
nature.
couple
That's-
more questions for y'all. Also, you ready?
Yes.
Oh, this is for Dave.
Okay.
Dave, what is the darkest part of existence? Did I give you this last time?
No,
I
don't
should have
think that
given
one.
it to you because that's right up your alley. What's the darkest part of existence?
Self-isolation.
music.
An isolated mindset.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, very cool.
Basically
Yeah.
being stuck in your mind.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
not
man.
and then not actually physically talking about it
Oh
or whatever. too.
wow.
So,
Yeah,
That's
that's a
true.
sickness. That's perfect, man. I like that. Okay. This is gonna be for you. Okay, here we go. What do you use to cope with difficult moments?
I think for me, I use the fact that I've overcome a lot of difficult things in the past. And so there's experience with knowing that there's something on the other side. And that helps me to, one, believe that I can get through it. And then I'm also big on journaling, confronting, what that emotion is, but also getting to the core at what it is. Because sometimes you can see symptoms of things, but there's something like underneath that needs to be dealt with. So it's a combination of experience, getting to the core of it, and then treating the core in order to move past it.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
I like that. So this is for both of y'all. Did you ever think running would become the craze it's become? For example, running shoes now almost $300+ dollars.
See that. Yeah.
So I would like to hear from y'all about that.
You know,
Either one of you can start. Yeah.
I did see it coming though. Like I think, as people became more conscious of like health and adopting those, whether it's
Record-breaking.
diet, and I think COVID actually accelerated that trend of people adopting, kind of running in community because they needed something, and running was that one thing that you can do. You can do it by yourself, you can do it with a group, but it just brought people together. So I actually think COVID accelerated it, but I definitely saw the run craze coming, and I saw the sense of community and all type of, not just running, but all type of like competitive, whether it's, I don't even know if people do, what is the
High rocks?
competition? High rocks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
High rocks is
Everybody's
like,
doing high rocks.
now
that?
everybody's
Yeah.
doing
What's
high rocks
high
now,
rocks?
right?
It's
And that involves a lot of running.
Yeah.
A lot of running on
Yeah.
that one.
So what would you consider high rocks? It would be
Think of it like kind of like CrossFit,
CrossFit,
but there's
yeah.
a lot more
It's like
running.
CrossFit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
kind of
what
like
I'm saying.
CrossFit, but it's not as silly with all the crazy lifts from
Yeah, yeah.
CrossFit. But there's a lot more running. I mean, you're doing like 6-7 rounds of 1,000 meter runs.
Yeah.
In between of each station you're going to.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and they're all going to be cardio intensive anyways too. So you have to be fit.
Have you done that?
I have not done it.
Dave's been doing it.
Dave's
Yeah,
been
I
doing
did my
it.
first one last year. I did pretty well. The wall balls killed me at the end because I was so depleted.
Yeah.
But this year I'm going to do it again in November.
Nice.
Sounds
So
like
you-
a
so-
day of fartleks.
Yeah.
It's similar, but if you train properly, you'll knock it out like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure, and you'll probably get a better score or time than you did the year before. But back to that question. The shoes costing $300 plus is like, and that was just an example, but it's making it where the rich can buy the good shoe
Well,
and I'm just
There's still a
throwing that
lot
out there.
when stuff goes on sale and whatnot. I mean,
Yeah, but
the
I'm just
yearly
saying the
drop of
ultimate
new
shoe, which it does have an advantage.
does.
You're paying that money, it has an advantage for sure, especially in the marathon distance and below. I think when you get into the ultra marathons, I mean, you can do whatever you want, wear whatever you want. I think you should. I mean, no, I guess that's not the case either. I mean, but you should be wearing. There's a lot of trail shoes out there that you could wear and you could get through
for
it.
300.
for most people running,
The Speedlands.
for most people running, there are plenty of shoes out there below
Yeah.
$200, even hovering over $100 that
I'll tell
are
you for
plenty
$100
enough.
and get you right.
When you're getting over to near 200, over 200,
Yeah.
you better have a purpose.
Yeah.
But
for
that's
shoe.
that's a pair of alligator boots, man.
But the most
$300 is a lot
Yeah.
Put it
for
this
some
way, you can
sneakers.
avoid
I
the
don't care. I
300.
don't care what people
you
are
are-
saying.
I
you
mean,
can avoid the 300.
You
The
can-
most
you
I've ever
could.
paid is
But that's where it's
175.
climbing to right now. Every year
No,
it
but
keeps going up further and further.
it wasn't-
Someone's pushing that market, and
Maybe
it's-
because I've only gotten into running since 2018.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I think, until Kipchoge did that sub 2 hour marathon.
yeah. So the
First ever.
Nikes blew up.
Right. And Nike blew up because of that. And it was actually banned for a while because it was a carbon plated shoe and that had other technology on it. And it was contested for quite a while.
now
And
everything
they
out
now
there is
accept it. And because of that, ever since that, everyone has making a carbon plate shoe.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's getting faster.
Yeah.
The Boston Times has accelerated
They
even
have.
more.
That's the price difference. Is the carbon plate. But number one, you don't need that. It's like there's got to be a purpose for a person wearing carbon plate.
Because
Like
those shoes don't last very long.
Well, and the most I've ever paid for a shoe is a Hoka trail shoe with it's like a 3/4 come with hugs around your ankle, so it's good keeping rocks and stuff out. And that was $225, and so I think 3s are more rare. The 2s are out there now.
The twos are
It-
definitely out there.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that. I'll add this real quick. there are $500 shoes. If Adidas came out with the evil ones,
Yeah.
and that was $500. Very rare, only 500 pair or whatever.
But I'm saying, if I see you wearing those, I'm coming to get you.
Yeah.
Like I used to love that in Central Park. I see a dude all cuted out. I'm like, I'm putting on Chuck Taylors.
Do I see the
to come
just
get
to go,
you.
to go get them.
Just to
I
go
will
get
say
it.
this real quick.
I'm not joking.
The rubber on those evil ones is uncanny sticky.
Oh.
It is uncanny how much grip and how light that shoe is.
Yeah.
Do you own it?
I don't own it. I own the Pro Force, which has been a great shoe, but those
But for
that
me, it's
evil
just
one is pretty
stuff that
insane.
if I'm not seeing these people on TV, I see you in the $300 shoes, okay. But the deal is with those shoes, like the reason I bought the Hokas was, number one, I put them on. I was like, okay, I get it now, and plus, I did have a reason. I knew what that ride felt like, and I was like, $225, come on, you can't. Then I said, yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
And I called them my DNF shoes because I put the same vicissitude on myself. I'm like, dude, if you DNF wearing a $200 shoe, you should get no sympathy. I'm gonna see you in the trail like, hey man, nice shoes. Too bad you can't walk in them. Like,
Right. Like they gotta give you something.
yeah.
So I want to tell you a little story. Shout out to Speedlin. Speedlin's Cam Haynes' brand, actually. And that's true. It's a father.
Oh,
So
Oh, yeah.
those shoes, and shout out to them. I'll tell you why, the story. Shout out to Speedlin again. I bought some Speedlins. Those are expensive shoes. They're like almost $299, $289. They're all up in almost to $300, and it's for trail. You know how always when you purchase a shoe, they'll send you something in the like an email later and say, how was your purchase? How would that shoe do? Whatever.
Always.
So I responded back to them
crazy.
and I said, I'm not going to wear these shoes until July. I'm running across Iceland, and it's a 187-mile trek, right? Trek through Iceland. And they get back to me, man. And
Tell them about the basket, Dave.
they get back to me, buddy. And they said, we're going to make sure that you're prepared for your trek through Iceland, you know? They sent me 3 pairs, almost $900 worth of Speedlin stuff for free.
wow.
Yeah. I haven't got it yet,
that.
but
Wow.
I will have it before Iceland.
love
But
that.
but
Wow.
it is in the mail. I shouldn't tell you this because you'll be sitting in my front. Why I'm gone, you'll be at the front door checking my mail.
Porch pirate alert.
I already got somebody that's going to stick around here actually get
Nice.
that mail. So.
I'm just glad I'm not I never grew up with the whole sneaker culture.
Yeah.
So I never gone out to kind of like go to StockX all the time or in goats.com to get a lot of the shoes.
You're not a sneakerhead. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not a sneakerhead. I use the shoes.
Right,
I use the
yeah,
shoes.
yeah.
So when it comes to like comparing that to like or comparing like running shoes culture versus like sneaker culture,
Yeah.
I think we're fine.
Yeah.
I know
We're
it's
fine.
I know it's expensive, but
I know when I went to your house right after I went to see that Rufus Du Sol concert, and you were like, oh man, I didn't get my running shoes before my marathon because it was the day before you're leaving to Eugene, and I was like,
Yeah.
damn it, didn't come in the mail in time, you know.
So you had to buy your shoes in Eugene.
No, he had some, but
he wore the shoes that you trained in, right?
Okay.
Right.
that
My
works.
Adidas Adizero Pro Force.
Yeah.
That I had been training on that. I already put over 200 miles on it, so I didn't know what the limit on that is, but
Yeah.
it still felt good.
all good.
And when the race day came, it performed fantastic.
They did.
And when I compare it with a new fresh pair of shoes, I'm actually kind of surprised how much it has not deteriorated or lose its comfortability
Yeah.
right,
at all. So I'm going to push it to see how far it actually really gets.
yeah.
And while we're speaking on this, I'm imagining a guy listening who I saw with my own eyes at what was the last 50? Crap, we were out there running at
Last 50
50
miler.
mile. Yeah, Blaze Trails. 50 was
I'm not sure.
anyway 50 mile grasslands.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And so grasslands 50-mile run. They had a 50, 100-mile, whatever. A guy about 6'3", if he's listening, he'll know I'm telling the honest to God truth. 6'3", I call him about 200 and a little bit, wearing straight up, like, again, Old Testament sandals.
Old Testament.
Yes, sir, man. It was like, I'm like, yo, my man, he's just cruising, getting it.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some sandal runners out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
like
especially
that.
like
Yeah,
in
there.
Mexico, like
I
the
have not seen that, but I know it's a thing. But I
that's
have
that's
not
a tribe
seen
out there in
it.
Mexico.
Those are OGs though, because it's not their first time. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
was it the Telemaru or something like that?
Yeah.
They
That tribe.
the women, they wear like the long
Yeah.
dresses
Oh, yeah.
and run
Yeah.
with the sandals as well
So-
too. And
so-
they're ultra runners.
So when I was in Nicaragua, we had a guy that ran in sandals through all the
Yeah.
rocks and up
That
in the
is
jungle everywhere, and he
Yeah.
was a sandal runner, and he's from New York actually. And when I first met him, because we all come together from all different states, you know, and we met in Nicaragua, all of us, and when I first met him, I just looked at him like, fuck. I was like, this is going to be chaotic. You know, we're taking you out there. And this, man, after we were all done, the guy that put it all together, he went and bought a pair of those same sandals,
Mhm.
you know, because he basically, the sandal runner, he made it through. And he's going to Iceland too. I bet he'll wear those sandals out in Iceland to try
wow.
to trek through there. So I told him, man, dude, you need to make a pair and sell these things, you know,
Yeah.
running sandals. I call them Air Jesuses. Because,
Air Jesuses.
because
Air
I
Jesuses.
say he's rocking the new Air Jesuses, you know, so it was,
Hey, you know, I say that just to put in people's heads, like the journeys that we all have, they're distinct. I mean, honestly, that's the first time I've heard of a sprinter going to distance. People I know, I mean, even that people I don't, I haven't seen it. And so I just like that for all of us, it's whatever we want to do. And I love with the running people, nobody's going to look at you. I mean, road running can be a little like in New York, like you'd see somebody running in the park, try to ask a question. I was like, hey, I saw a guy doing hill repeats. I didn't have the language, but I'm fresh off like 125 in Staten Island.
Yeah.
And so I need to figure out how to train. I said, hey, can you tell me what you're doing? Sorry, buddy, I just don't have to. I'm like, my man, number one, 4-inch split, you're not in the Olympics. You can still be people. And in the community, there's that, but you can find your family
You can.
more than in any other sport. And then the trail is a version of that, which is so even more so. Like you'll see the freaking elite beasts who will pass you and say, "Hey man, are you good?"
mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they'll check on you.
And mean it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I mean.
And they still gonna get theirs.
They're
That's what
gonna
people
get
don't realize.
theirs.
There's
still
no
gonna
loss
get
in being
theirs.
human. There's
Yeah.
no loss.
I mean, that happened to me mile 24.
Oh, wow.
Like I was definitely laboring at that point. And, you know, there was, and David actually taught me this. There are people who will trail you. Like you don't know that they're following your pace, but they're following your pace because they, you know, you all are running stride for stride. And so he ran up next to me. And at this point, I'm like, God, this is the longest 2.2 miles. Like I don't know how I'm going to get there. And he was talking to me and I just kind of like put my music on mute. And he just simply looked at me. He was like, hey, he was like, I've been following you this whole race. He was like, you are strong. He said, you may not feel like it, but you're strong enough to finish. And he gave me a fist pump. And it was at that moment that you realize again that there are people who are back home that's cheering for you, but there are also people who you've never met, that you will never have a conversation with, that's watching you and wanting to see you win. Because he didn't have to stop and say anything to me, but he intentionally stopped to talk to me because he saw my body language. He saw me struggling and he wanted me to finish just like he was finishing. And I told him that I'm like, I'm so thankful for like whoever you are, like, thank you because your words really helped me to
That had
run
a
that
physical
2.2.
effect on you, didn't it?
It
had
did.
it's amazing.
It's a mental. I think it makes your mental clock in and it makes you go back to the training that you've done. Like, you know, those extra miles that you ran when you were exhausted, you start to get into that gear.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And plus, there's another human that actually cares.
Yes.
So you're like,
Yeah, that's what I love.
you don't see that a lot, you know, especially with this dog eat dog world that we're in. It's hard to see.
We're sharing the same misery and the same motivation.
The
so
same pain.
Yeah.
Same pain. So we're trying to get it done. So let's try be kind to each other and to
Absolutely.
ourselves and just encourage each other to go ahead and meet at the finish line.
Yeah,
Get that
we
gold.
did. And David was the first person I crossed the line and David was one of the first people. I didn't know he waited on the track, but he waited on the track and came up to me and gave me the biggest hug once I crossed.
So it finishes after you. It finishes.
Yeah, on the track. It's the same with the.
Yeah.
We
who-
did
who-
200
who
meters
was it?
on the track on the Eugene
Yeah.
Stadium.
Did you say that? Who was
That to be able to run on that is. I've been there only for the Prefontaine
Yeah.
Yeah,
a
yeah,
couple
that's
times.
it, right?
You run on the
Prefontaine.
track.
That's
Okay,
iconic.
yep,
If you,
That's
Yeah.
iconic because you're on a big billboard, so people can see people as they're coming. And like I said, it's all about community. And I go back to 10 years ago, where if you would have asked me even 5-6 years ago, would I do a marathon, and I would look you in your face and say, are you crazy?
no concept.
Like, are you really crazy? Like, and it was rumored earlier last year, that I was doing a marathon, and it just blew up. People was like, LaDrica's running a marathon. And I had to like squash that. Like, no guys, like, I'm not running a marathon. And then when I put it out there, like, people didn't believe it at first until I said, no guys, like, I am training for my first marathon. And they were like, seriously? And I was like, yeah, seriously.
Can you tell my nieces and nephews that? Because I got a standing offer. I'm like, if you just show up at Trailhead Running Supply, not only will they fit you, they're just the most beautiful people. And I said, look, if y'all just show up there, the shoes, I got you. Because I want to get them in the woods just to run 5 miles, 3 miles, whatever, or just run anywhere on the streets. Let them know that you came from a place where
I came from.
there's less running the sprinter would do than a guy off the couch running like
Yes.
it's not even
Yeah, like
happening.
we weren't doing, like, when I was running track, we would do long runs, but we were not doing what I know to be long runs now. And so what I will encourage people, because it is challenging when you go from like a 4.8 runner, where everything is about speed and it's about getting it right and it's about form, to running a marathon. It's all about mental and leaning in your community. My biggest issue was pacing. I struggle. I'm like, I don't know how to. You want me to run 9 minutes? Wow, like, what is that? Like, I can't run. That's too slow. And so you change. I think you change your mindset and your versatility. And so be open to just that coaching, to get you through it. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start somewhere.
That's the thing, and it changes. The journey is what changes life. I say that changed my life for sure, because I bumped into running. Just ran first, or walked into the gym in Queens, and had never joined the gym because I grew up in Texas. Man, you don't need a gym. We're just out doing whatever. But then in New York, I walk in the gym, and the bikes were full, because I was saying, "Oh, you warm up on a bike." Then I looked at a treadmill, and I was like, "Well, I hate treadmills, but I'd never tried it." And I was like, "Oh, this is not bad running." And then a month later, Staten Island half marathon. That's why I identify with what you're saying, because I was like, "Oh wow, I had been even hating on something, not even thinking about it like that, but it hadn't occurred to me." But then from that moment, it changed my life, and it continues to change my life.
Yeah,
It continues.
Yeah,
it advances.
Yeah.
it does.
Okay, so I got we're gonna wrap this up, but before you go, Dave, you're gonna have to give me a different answer than last time. Okay.
Okay.
So, Drica, this is your question, and it's gonna be Dave's. But what's your favorite movie?
Man, gosh, because I have a lot of favorite movies. My favorite movie, gosh, okay, I'm gonna just land on one genre, because it's many genres. I am a huge Marvel fan. Let me
Hey.
tell you something.
Really?
So, huge Marvel fan.
I'm actually
So
surprised by this.
let's pause.
Nice,
Hey, let's
nice.
pause for a second. And y'all had a group in Irving Marathon where y'all are Marvel characters, or y'all are the Marvel hero
Y'all
group.
did that?
What was that group called?
It wasn't even. What was it called? Because it was JT.
It was
created
all
it.
you first place winners or something like that, of
What
different
was it
age
called?
groups and
It
stuff.
was called it wasn't the Avengers. What was it
Yeah,
called?
you're the Avengers, right?
I think we were the Avengers.
Yeah,
Were we the
yeah.
Avengers?
I forgot. I forgot. I
The
totally forgot about
Avengers.
that.
Yeah.
So, but I love, like, I watch a Marvel movie at least once a
Yo,
week.
that's crazy.
My favorite character is Thor.
Oh,
Thank you
yeah,
very
yeah.
much.
Nice.
But I would say just the Marvel series, one, because it's just, again, it's about a superhero. I really do think that I'm a superhero in like real life and other things. And so I just connect with Marvel because that's what it's about. It's about grit and tenacity and finding a way to win in difficult situations. So
Man,
that's
that.
it.
Love that. You need to go see Sinners. Have you seen Sinners yet?
I haven't seen Sinners, but I heard it was like I heard it was so good.
I saw it last night.
Don't
It
tell
was
me about it.
blazing,
But
man.
I
It's a
heard it
great-
was so
great one,
good.
Great one. I recommend everybody should see that.
If you could see one fight, Marvel versus DC, who are your two? Who's the one? Even though you're not DC, who's the one you would put up saying, "Oh, he'd probably get my guy a fight or my girl a fight, but we would still win." Who are your two?
I take Lobo because that's my favorite
Versus
Lobo.
comic character.
versus.
Wolverine. So that's Marvel versus DC right there. Yeah, I like those two.
But and also I give credit to this. If you really are one or the other, I really can't remember the other people's team.
Right.
You know,
Like I'm like,
Is there another team?
I was big into comic books when I was young, but it wasn't because of Marvel or DC. It was because of Image, and it was because
Image Comics.
yeah,
Spawn.
Image Comics.
Huh?
Yes,
Oh, dude,
exactly.
Spawn's killer.
I
Yeah,
love Spawn.
Yeah.
So I grew up with that and a bunch of other ones that were on that same comic book strip.
Right. Pitt was one. I don't
Pitt
know
was
if you know
another-
Pitt. P-I-T-T. Yeah.
And Gen 13 was another one as well too. So, but there was also Dark Horse comics too that I enjoyed as
Dark
well.
Horse is amazing. So what was yours, Eric? I mean, you brought it up.
I actually ran to the list because I'm Marvel, but I had to look and see who my DC folks were, and I would put.
You got Batman, Superman.
You was gonna try to put up Superman.
No.
I feel like their best hitter on DC is Superman.
I mean,
I
that's
just-
the obvious, because
Well-
he is.
Obvious, right?
When-
Green
You ain't going
Lantern,
Shazam.
Batman.
You're not doing Shazam or Aquaman.
I really did enjoy Batman.
Yeah.
With
I love Batman. The movie.
not with Ben Affleck or
No, the new one.
no
You didn't like the
like
new
the
I did
one?
older
not
one
like
with
it.
with
Christian Bale. Christian Bale.
Oh.
Yeah, with Heath Ledger as the Joker in there.
Okay.
Okay.
That trilogy of Batman, I did enjoy quite a bit.
Okay.
But with the new Batman from with the vampire guy, what's his name? I forgot now.
I like him. I
I
like
mean-
him because he's not over the top.
Well,
muscular.
I
He's not
understand-
over the top anything.
I understand from like the people who read the comic books, especially like the detective Batman series, it's more detective work.
Yeah.
It's not the whole glitz and glamour explosion.
I love
stuff like that.
Lenny Kravitz's daughter too.
Oh, she's
That was amazing.
Lisa.
Zoe Kravitz.
So-
Oh yeah,
so-
I did enjoy her Catwoman. I
Yeah,
really
yep.
did. I actually did like that romantic portion of
Yeah.
that storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
I really
fantastic.
did.
Oh yeah, the movie was fantastic. But like you're saying, I mean, a lot of people want Batman to be a strong build character. Maybe I don't know. Do y'all?
He's just a G. We get it. I mean,
What
was,
about- you know
he's
about
in my all time
Val
like
Kilmer
smooth
was
guys like
Batman
Green
too.
Lantern,
I think-
Batman.
I think it was mostly
It's
just
not
his-
about the powers. It's about it's gonna get done. Everybody just be easy.
Michael
Like,
Keaton.
That's
was
Batman.
You know, man.
Michael Keaton was he was good.
See, Batman is a smooth character. All the
George
Batman.
Clooney was a
And
Batman.
Batgirl was also. I mean, no, not Batgirl.
It's a different era.
Catwoman.
Yeah.
It is a
different
different
era.
era.
Val
You had
Kilmer,
Jack
George
Nicholson
Clooney.
as
Oh,
Joker, like
Jack
back in the day.
Nicholson,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great Joker. I thought.
He was a great Joker.
I mean, he's nothing like Heath Ledger, though.
No, Heath like no,
He
R.I.P.,
was.
but Heath
That was
was
a dominant role.
He was you know.
And that's where the two different generations come in.
But you're looking at
clashing
Arkham
like that.
Asylum was a different storyline too. So
Wasn't
so Arkham Asylum was his the Heath Ledger and the
But who did the
wasn't it?
voice in that? Remember the original?
that was your guy you just said was your favorite Batman.
Heath Ledger, yes.
No,
what?
your favorite Batman
It was with Christian Bale.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was.
Even
great.
though I grew up watching Michael Keaton era.
Yeah, nice.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm Batman.
So
But-
you never told me your favorite movie,
Oh,
Dave.
okay.
Yeah.
Because I think last time it was a Tarantino movie. I think I said it.
Well,
I said
you
that.
pick a different Tarantino movie, but you
I'll-
can't say the one that you said last
I
time.
will
Was it
say-
Kill Bill last time? Which one?
I think so. It was
Okay,
cool, yeah.
okay.
Because that's what introduced.
And he said to
introduced me.
Django, and he went into
I love
Django.
Django.
He
Right.
loves
You
that
love
one.
Django.
I'll go something different.
It was
this
a
time
love
around.
story. When I finally watched it, I'm like, all the controversy about it, and I watched it. It's a love story. He's like, I'm going to get my woman.
There was
No
a
matter
movie
what.
that came out last year that I really enjoy a lot, and I watched it, seen it multiple times, and I do actually like it quite more than I thought. It's the Furiosa.
Nice.
I love the Mad Max story and everything.
Yeah.
That was a
and
good movie.
Right.
Fantastic.
So
Yeah.
you've seen Fury Road, right?
Yes, I have seen Fury
And you
Road.
guys are movie people for real.
Yeah.
So Furiosa
You never
is
seen Mad
the
Max
origin
Furiosa?
story.
I've not seen any of
But
this.
I've
Oh,
seen
beautiful.
that was a really
Fantastic,
nicely
I
done
thought. Yep.
movie.
And Thor did great in it.
He
Oh.
he was the he was he definitely
Thor. I was very
And I like the
surprised when I saw
versatility.
that he was going to be in it. I was like,
I
oh,
like
this
the
movie's going to be shit.
versatility of him
but he
as
was-
an
Yeah,
artist.
you
I think-
enjoy Furiosa because
I've seen Furiosa.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
like from when. And it was kind of crazy. I knew he was gonna take the girl. I knew. And I'm not gonna spoil it under his wing, but I just knew that she was gonna come in there and tear some stuff.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I got one odd thing to throw in here. I lived in Spain for a while in Dragon Ball Z when it first hit. And
Oh, I
so
knew
I,
he was. Yeah.
Wait, you're talking about the movie or the
cartoon.
oh,
And I didn't watch it in English. It was all in Catalan. And that's how I learned Catalan. So his whole theme song stayed in my head. Fuera de aquí. En cara que soc petit, tenc el que no me ha de tenir. Estic protegit per las estrellas. And let all the Catalan people say, no, he said it, okay. But the thing is, like, the things that stuck in my head was just like the cartoon. If I could just let them things run around. And it made me think, for running, if you could run with a movie, that would be interesting, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll just throw the soundtrack and the script, the actual speaking, and that would make it go by like
Speaking
like real fast.
Speaking of like superhero movies, whatever, this is not really a superhero movie, but I think it's a very underrated movie that should get more attention. Chronicle.
When did it come out?
2012 actually.
Was-
About three high school kids who
Oh, I think
from like different aspects of their lives, and they discover some kind of alien thing, and they
I
build
think I
up-
remember that. Do they have the powers of?
Yeah,
the,
they
I
got
have not seen
it's very
Do you know
very
who?
good.
But the power would
directed,
drain
produced
them
it?
as humans, right? Wouldn't the power drain them as humans, or
Yeah.
did it?
They gain powers and they expand and they
But didn't it? Oh, they fought each other, right?
they
I don't. want
Okay,
to
well, I haven't seen
yeah.
it, so don't spoil it. I think one movie that I will slide in there just as a bonus. Before Marvel, there was one movie, Antoine Fisher, that was one of my favorite movies, and it's not necessarily like a comedy or a romance. It is one of those stories that's based on something that's true. But the reason why I resonated with Antoine Fisher is because, again, it's about persevering through tenacity, and he had to find like the core of what was causing him to act the way that he was, and he was able to eventually get to the heart of the matter. And I just loved the journey and the fact that he had someone in his circle that cared enough to help him get there. And so Antoine Fisher was like my secondary. I love Antoine Fisher.
Nice, beautiful.
I love how this just totally derailed us.
Yeah. So we went from
It's not
like
a derailing.
we
It's
went
like-
from like Marvel characters
Oh, we went all
coming
over the
to
place.
we went all over the
We
place.
went from running in the street to like, hold up, let's get this. I love it.
So
It's not a derailing.
I want to thank y'all for coming out because
Thank
we're
you.
gonna close this episode. We're hour and 22 minutes
Holy-
in.
I was
But we
wondering.
could sit here and rattle off 2 hours, 3 hours probably together. And that's what I like about it. It's the beauty. It's like a dance, we're dancing back and forth, with the conversation. It's beautiful. But I'm going to close it out. So thank y'all for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Here we go.
I thought he was just gonna like flash the lights in the gym on this. like time to go, y'all. I be digging this music. Man.